How are you guys? My name is Dimitrus Paul, and today we will be discussing federal versus state laws immunities. Topic number one. There has been a rapid expansion in federal criminal offenses, and that in itself is a problem that implicates the foundations of the criminal law. As a result of these flaws, the federal criminal code fails to serve what may be its most important function, which is not to expose and punish the relatively few persons who consciously choose to engage in criminal conduct, but rather to inform the citizens of its laws prerequisites, thereby enhancing them with the tools to avoid the conduct we deem worthy of society's most severe penalty and moral censure. Additionally, the explosion of the federal criminal law, both in the number of offenses and their overall scope, demanding that legal reformers were to revisit neutral remarks about what criminal law is and best to rein in its actual and potential abuses. Moreover, federal criminal jurisdiction was limited to offenses that involved truly national matters, such as treason, counterfeiting, bribery of federal officials, and perjury in the federal courts. However, in recent years, as Senator Joseph Biden has put it, we federalize everything that walks, talks, and moves. Today, there are more than 3,000 federal crimes on books. Nowadays, federal crimes now ranges from serious but purely local offenses such as carjackings and church burnings to trivial matters such as disrupting a rodeo or damaging a livestock felicity. State crimes are prosecuted by the state's attorneys office, and federal crimes are prosecuted by the U.S. district attorneys. Additionally, it is possible to be investigated by multiple law enforcement agencies at both state and federal level for the same criminal conduct, and to subsequently be prosecuted in both state and federal court. An example of common criminal activity that may allow someone to face charges in both state and federal court would be drug trafficking, fraud charges, child pornography, and weapon charges. Also, in many situations, an individual will be prosecuted by either the federal government or the state government, even if they were investigated by both state and federal law enforcement agencies. Executive privileges is the right of the President of the United States of America and other members of the executive branch to maintain confidential communications under certain circumstances within executive branch and to resist some subpoenas and other oversights by the legislative and judicial branches of government. Moreover, the charge of high crimes and misdemeanors covers allegations of misconduct by officials such as dishonesty, negligence, perjury of oath, abuse of authority, bribery, intimidation, misuse of public funds or assets, failure to supervise, derecollection of a duty of becoming conduct, refusal to obey the law order. Claiming immunity for top aides is not, however, unique to this president, although he has pushed the envelope beyond what his predecessors have argued. Since Nixon, both Democrat and Republican presidents have made executive staff immunity claims. Seldomly, however, have these disputes played out to the end. It appears that neither the executive nor the legislative branch wants to cede power to the third branch, judicial, to decide. Instead, immunity claims usually results in negotiations between Congress and the executive, ending either with the surrender of one side or with a negotiated compromise in which the committee issuing the subpoena typically gets some but not all of the information the executive originally tried to withhold. Lastly, healthcare. Medicaid to be underfunded. Alabama is one of the several Republicans controlled states that has not expanded Medicaid under the Affordable Care Act. Additionally, the current budget withholds have led to levels funding with Medicaid. Alabama is one of the states to be approved by the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services to receive a waiver to implement a plan for regional care organization that would transform the way Alabama offers Medicaid by leveling funding Medicaid. The states will be unable to implement RCOs. Lastly, again, I would like to talk about the Federal Reserve, which is a system that controls our US currencies. And lately, it's just been degrading due to inflation of gold. We've lost gold in our US currency, which is very sad because that was actually giving us a surplus on the US dollar. And there's just been a lot of counterfeiting going on due to China. They've been counterfeiting a lot of our money, and it's just been devaluating our currency, which destroys our GDP and is just not good for our economy. And in order for us to remain in that surplus and remain a global world power, we need to implement gold back in our US dollar and put more money in the middle class families. Thank you for listening and have a great day.